Welcome back to Copperhead Customs. Today we're starting a new project. So you need to stick around if you want to see what it is. But I think you'll be impressed. So yes, welcome back. And this is our 1951 Bedford. This was the first project we built on the channel, and it was a $5,000 budget build. And today we're going to build another one of these, but way better. Well, today we're going to start it, and it is located right up there, up the top of the block in our laydown yard. But before we can start that, we have to move a heap of cars.
Steve, could you move the Chimera? I need to get the Tirana out so I can get to the Commodore.
I'll have to get the keys to Cortina. I'm going to move that Chimera.
Yeah, watch the boat, mate.
Yeah.
We've got to move the Beamer so we can move the Mercedes, so we can then move the Chrysler, so we can then put the Pontiac where the Chrysler goes, the Beamer where the Merc goes. Anyways, let's just start doing it. Alright, so first we've got to move this, my BMW X5, but the water pump just seized up, so first we've got to take the serpentine belt off so that we can quickly move it with no power steering, no water pump, no aircon. Okay, so we've got the bonnet up. Now this car, this is my car, but I haven't been driving it. I haven't been driving it for approximately a year. It did have a little tiny water leak, and it's just been sitting there in the corner of the yard. Now, I said to myself the other day, it's probably the water pump that's leaking, because they are common to leak. So I fired it up and determined, yes, it is the water pump. And I quickly took it for a quick zoosh down, up and down the street, and guess what happened? Yes, the water pump bearing let go, it locked itself up, spat the belt off, and this is where it's been sitting ever since. So, let's fandangle our big stupid hands in this tiny little gap, try to get this serpentine belt off so we can move it. Alright, there's the belt off. Let's quickly start this up, move it forward so we can get the Mercedes out. But hey, first, we probably need some keys. So these might help. Now, of course, with no water pump, that thing will get hot really quick, so we do not want to have that running for long. And with no power steering, it is going to be fun putting it in here. So next, we'll open the gates and we'll move the Mercedes. Okay, with that done, let's see if we can get this stinking BMW into that spot where we will fix it during the week. Something like that. Seems good. Now, next one. Okay, next we want to move the Chrysler out onto the road because we want to put our Pontiac Star Chief back in its home in there. Okay, now let's go get the Pontiac. Easy peasy. Now, remind me to go disconnect that battery later on. Okay, I'm sweating. Now we get the Merc down there and hook up the trailer. How hard? All right, with that all done, let's now head up to the top of the block so you guys can see the latest project. So guys, this is it. This, I have to check the numbers, but I think it's a 46 or 47 Bedford. It is the same cab design as our other one, the stubby nose, as they made that for approximately 20 odd years. And as you can see, this one is in our garden, so we've got to remove a few plants and stuff first. A bit of the fence is tied onto it, we need to get rid of that, and then see what we can do. Now, it's not on any wheels, so we may have to stick an axle under it, tie it on to drag it out. Let's just see how we go, eh? And once I get it out, we'll show you around it properly. Alright, it is stifling hot. We've got the axle under, we need to strap it on. We couldn't actually drag it onto the trailer, just trying to skid it up. The winch just didn't have the cojones, so we've gone and got the axle, we've stuck it under. We've just spent about 2 hours getting it jacked up high enough. It's all a bit sketchy, so I just got to put a couple of straps under it, lower it all off. Fingers crossed the winch will then pull it up on the trailer. We don't have to get it up too far, we just got to get it up a little bit. And it is about 40 degrees. I don't know, it's probably 110 Fahrenheit, and it is about 120% humidity. I hate this weather. Alright, there's a start. The chassis is digging into the ground, so we have to jack it up, put some stands under it to bring it back in. But I have to go down, I have to go in and cool down. So we'll come back out a bit later, we'll jack it up, we'll try to get it in here, see if we can't unload it, and then I'll show you around. Did I say it's hot? Okay, we are back. It is the next day. I think the heat got to me yesterday because I was starting to get delirious. But anyways, what we've gone and done is I've quickly printed off the chassis number to year correspondence, and this is our chassis number 234068. So that tells me it's probably a 1952. So our other orange one is a 51, and this one looks like a 52. So while I talk, I'm going to spray everything down with inox just to start soaking it. So this is what we've got here. 1952 it says now. Yeah, so we're just going to spray everything down as we go around so that it all starts to work again. This is the key to some of these things, is getting them working. But as you can see, we are quite banged up on the door down there for a start. The cab is pretty rough, big dents everywhere, roof dents. So we've got to address quite a bit of that before we start doing our roof chop. The guard's pretty rough, but I'm pretty sure we have a nice set there. Our nose cone is very rough. We do have a couple of other ones. We have another green one and at least another orange one that are in way better condition, but we will see how we go. Headlights, we have to check what we've got. No windows in it. No side windows are in it. That doesn't bother us because what are we doing? That's right, we are going to roof chop the hell out of this. Now it's pretty complete other than that. Steering wheel, gauges, dash, all that stuff, handbrakes, pedals. So what we use, who knows, but I tell you what, we're not using this chassis and we're not using this motor. So we're going to put it on a HQ 1 tonner chassis. We're going to shorten that chassis. So this is going to be a chopped, short, stubby little hot rod. So basically a baby version of our other one. But like I've said, we're going to have to address a fair bit of this body work before we get into the roof chop. You can see over there, it's pretty nasty over there. So we need to address quite a bit of that before we go and chop into it. So, and as you can also see, we have all these wicked looking bullet holes everywhere where it was shot at in the paddock. So we're going to leave them in. I reckon they look pretty trick. So the plan is, right now I'm going to run around and spray it with inox to get it all soaking, and we will then come through and we will remove this, head back, what do they call them? I don't know, you know what I mean. I don't know. Headache rack. We'll remove the headache rack. Then we'll start working, we'll clean the interior and start working on a few of these dents, getting a bit of that happening, getting the window rubber and glass out of it. We probably want to look at stripping the door frame and quarter windows. We just beat the living daylights out of the cab with our copper soft blow, and you can see we've improved it a lot. We got rid of this. You know, it's still dented and I don't care about it being dented. I just wanted it a bit better for our chop. I like the dents. You probably would have worked this out. I don't mind my rat rods having dents in them at all. I think it adds to the look of the car. It is a, what did we say, it's 52, so it's a 65-year-old farm truck. So it is going to be banged up. And remembering, we don't even know when this was parked. As you can see, it's been parked for a long time. So we gave this a bit of a clout, got that looking much better, so it opens and closes nicely up now. We banged a bit out of this. We've got the back looking pretty good, and as you can see, the roof we flogged quite a bit as well. And on the other side, we did the same. We hit the door a little bit. We did the recorder, the roof, and the back. The back needs a bit more here. I need to dolly that one, but we got rid of these. This big one, well, we've brought it out. That's all I want. I just want to bring it out. We are not looking for showroom flawless metal finished body on this at all. The more rougher it looks, the better on this one, okay? Maybe you can't see my vision yet, but I can see my vision. Of course I can see my vision. But yes, my vision, I already have a vision for what I want this to look like. And the rougher, the better. Okay, so we just got all of that prepped. So we've got our windscreen rubber out, our, what would you call that? The little thing over there that holds the windscreen rubber in on the inside, the little interior piece, we got that out. We had to hack it that little bit, we couldn't get those screws. But we got all of the screws bar one, I think, out of that out, which was pretty cool. We took our quarter glasses out and we took our, you know, like your window stripping rubbish crap that was in there that was all worn out. So, and then we took this up down window glass pillar piece out. Now, that's a bit butchered, but do not worry because we will just weld a new one in because, of course, we're chopping the windscreen out. So we'll just chop that out. Now, so, and we also got rid of the headache rack off the back. Now, all of these pieces here we will keep because I think we may weld those beams, the headache rack beams, which have these groovy little hooks on. I think we may use that later on. And we'll keep that piece of hardwood. We'll probably reuse that in this build somewhere as well. And we've kept the chrome windscreen trim. We'll cut that down. And we've kept the interior piece. We'll cut that down. So anyway, that's enough talking. So are we ready to do the chop? Well, kind of. Now, before you just go in and hack at your car or truck, you need to just sit back and look at what you're about to do. Now, take hours on this if you want. It doesn't matter because this can make your life really hard or really easy depending on how and what you do at this point. So we'll start off looking at our back window. Now I've determined that I want to basically do a 6-inch chop in this to start with, and then we'll have a look at it, but I want to go pretty drastic on this, so I'm doing a 6-inch chop straight off the bat. We'll sit it on, look at it, see if we want to go further or not. Now with a 6-inch chop, if we come down just into this curve here, okay, and it will be just sort of there. So we won't be too far out. We should be able to manipulate this to get it. Now, what I'm getting at is, see this piece here curves more at the top than it does at the bottom, and it's actually probably slightly angled, but we should be able to manipulate this. We may have to do a relief tight cut on it, but we should be able to get the back window. But we can cut 6 inches out of this section, and we should get away with it, okay? So that's our back window. Now, if we look at the back of our car, what do you guys see? That's right, we've got this little body line here. So that would nearly be a perfect place to do our chop line, wouldn't it? Do you agree? Well, that's what I think. I think that would be a really good spot because it will basically hide our weld a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll just come ever so slightly above this line. Pretty dark there. Yeah, that's better. We'll just come slightly above this line. So what we'll do is, up here, we'll take our 6-inch slab, boom, boom, bang. Take 6 inches out of that. Then we'll do a straight line down to here. And we'll cut across here, around to the pillar. And then we'll do another 6-inch line here, 6 inches, whoosh. Okay, then this will slide down onto there. This will get welded up, and there'll be a piece missing, so that will come to there, okay? So we'll do that. So we don't have to go the whole way across. We can just do this little corner, work on this corner. Okay, so then, before you get too carried away, then you come and you look in here, and where this line is, where I sort of wanted to cut, look, it's fat there, so it doesn't really work. So what we'll do here is we'll come to here, then we'll do a little vertical line up, boom, and we'll take our 6-inch cut here, and here, we'll do our 6 inches here where it's all nice and even. And we'll do the same. We'll have a little step. So our 6-inch cut's coming here to there. Then there'll be a little line going up, and our 6-inch cut will be here. And what this also does is it actually makes it stronger because you're basically doing it's not just a straight chop through. You're actually doing like a little Z type cut. Okay. So that's the back. Now, what you want to look at is, look at this door. Okay. If your door's doing something stupid like that, or it starts curving here, you need to take that into consideration of where you want your chop to be. Now this one here is looking pretty well straight, and the back looks pretty straight. So this one in the back should just pretty much drop straight down really nicely. Okay, but you need to take into consideration your angles. Okay, now the doors, this is what I do. I'm just going to lop it, say here, boom, and up here, Boom. And get that frame and put it over there, and we'll deal with that later on. And we close that, and we don't even worry about the doors for the time being. Now we're looking at this, okay? We've got an angle there, so that coming straight down is never going to work. If we take 6 inches out, this is going to be landing in here, okay? So the roof is going to have to be chopped through the middle, 100%, right? Now that's nearly every roof now, but if we look at from the front, if we look at that pillar, it nearly looks like it's slightly laying out. So we've got to think about that when we do our chop as well, that we're probably not going to quite line up that way. So we may have to be prepared to do a little cut here to splay or a little cut here to tighten. We can attempt to do it with ratchet straps come along, supporter powers. We can attempt to just tweak it a little bit and see how it goes, but there is a chance we will have to do little reliefs. Okay, so be prepared for that, but we can look at that and see, yes, it's going to have a little bit done. Okay, now if that was drastic, like this car over here has got some drastic things happening, you may have to cut your roof through this way. Now this roof on this, when we turn this car into a 2-door, that roof is going to be cut into about 10 pieces, maybe more, to get that to work, because it is every shape known to mankind. All right, now the other thing you want to check is your pillars themselves. Now on our Chev, the pillars went from fat to skinny, big curve, little curve, and so you want to pick the correct spot on here where these are lining up the most. Okay, now these are pretty uniform. There is a little bit of difference there to there, but if we take our 6-inch slab basically in the middle there, we should be good. Now here is something else. Hey, I'm throwing it all at you. This is all, most of this is common sense, but it's stuff that people don't think is. 6 inches up here is not 6 inches here, is it? Because this is 6 inches straight up and down. If we measure 6 inches here, it's different to 6 inches straight up and down. So if we cut 6 inches out, that is going to be maybe only 5 inches compared to what the back will be. So we got to do our 6 inches cut measured like that, straight up and down. So remember about that, okay? Whether you want to get angles in, or use Pythagoras to work out, you know, get your angle, work out your a squared, b squared, square squared, all that malarkey, to work out exactly how much you want to cut on here is one option. By using maths, you can, you know, stick a level across, have a level, mark it, measure down 6 inches with your level, mark it. You do whatever, however you want to do it. If you're good at maths, do it using Pythagoras, okay? That's what I will probably be doing later on. Now, with all of that said, we are now basically ready to do our chop. So we'll go around and mark it. We're going to just lop our center piece out completely, and we will go around and mark it all. We will lop that piece out. We'll just lop the doors off, get them out of the way, throw them to the side, and then we'll come along and we'll start marking this out. We'll probably use tape to mark it out, and we'll chop it off. We'll take the top away, we'll chop the rest out, and then we'll probably chop the roof in half on the floor, bring it back in, and start reassembling. Now, I might lock the doors now, and then, well, I think we'll get into the chop first thing in the morning. So, remember, slow down and think about what you're about to do, because it's not that hard. You just got to think about it. Okay, we are back, and as you can see, we have chopped it all up. It definitely chops up quicker than it will go back together. So that didn't take long, and we did that for $1. We didn't even use one cutting disc, so that's a good thing. So as you can see, we chopped the roof in half, but we also put this little step in it. You'll see why, because we'll only widen it. It'll be widened like 1 inch or 2, so the other piece can lay on there. Again, it's another strengthening thing that we've done a step through the roof instead of just one. So as you can see on the back here, we've got our step. Now our back window is probably going to get a little bit agricultural, but we'll just deal with that. As you can see, we have cut, because we've cut so much out of this, we are going to have probably an ugly little back window, but so be it. Yes, so then we've done our little step here as well, and as you can see on the roof here, we have our little step there, so hopefully that is all good. So we'll have our roof will sit there, step down, and we've taken our... Now you keep all your pieces. Here's all our pieces that we cut out. You keep all of these, because that can pretty much be used through the roof. We'll need some of these other bits to use in when we change the window frames and the windows, because we've got to remember this here is now going to be longer through here and all of this good stuff. So you keep all your offcuts. You should be able to use all of that, a lot of that, to fix all this back up. Now with the front, as you can see, we're about 1 inch out there, okay, as in the top's wider than the bottom. Okay, so anyway, that's cut up. Now we haven't put the back on yet. We'll do that in a minute. We'll sit the back on with a couple of clamps and see how that's marrying up. I think we'll come out the front quickly and I'll show you. It's pretty severe chop, 6 inches, but I think it's going to look pretty tough. It's definitely going to be tough. Anyways, and here's something else. What an easy way to make a little roadster. Hey, look, we've got our curved roadster back. A very easy way of making a roadster. Alrighty, we have got it on. So it's just sitting there with a few tacks around the place like it's solid, but yeah, we haven't filled in any of our pieces or anything, welded it properly. As you can see, all the back, we've got to go through and pull it in and out and get this all nice to, you probably can't see because I'm in the shadow, but get this all nicely fitted up. A couple of little cuts and trims. Now in the back corner of the windows, we do have a little bit of a dilemma. The inside was so much narrower. So what we will do is we will cut this here. We'll basically cut that corner out. We'll bring it in and line our edges up. Tackle that up. We'll probably have to do a little butt weld cut there. And there, and then we'll put a piece in here. We'll put a little rectangle piece in. So there's nothing we can do about that. It's on both sides. The window was shaped so hardcore. The only way out of it, like I said, would have been to have only chopped probably 3 inches out of the window and then come the whole way across here and through this section, cut 3 inches out, and this section we cut our 6 out. So yeah, we can fix that easily. I still think it's better to do this way. So like I said, we'll cut a little corner out, we'll bring it over, line our frame up, and then we'll just put a little square piece in, rectangle piece in there. We do have a bit of an ugly gap along here. We may gain a bit when we bring it across. I don't actually know why we have that. It's on both. It's on same. It's a bit ugly. It's not to do with my cutting. It's just to do with the cab itself. And in the roof, as you can see, we've got a heap of clamps up on the roof. We do have a little bit of a pucker up there, so we may have to do a relief cut over there on the front section. Do one little cut that way, overlap them. Just probably around here somewhere. Do a cut like that long. I'd say a little relief cut, overlap them. There's our side, so our gap here to here is the same on both sides, and this is how much it moves forward. I think it's nearly 3 inches. And if we come in here, there's our little step in there with a few tacks on. So overall it's looking pretty good. We haven't done our frame, window frame as yet. And at the front, okay, as you can see, we got beautiful fit up on that side. This side's got a little bit of a gap. Obviously my cut wasn't perfect, but what we did is we got this side tacked up, and we actually stuck the come along on and just gave it a little pull, and we got it. So there we go. There's our 6-inch chop. I think if we look from the front, it looks good. We potentially could have gone another inch in the front, but we would have never probably fitted in there. On the side windows, when you imagine our frame's got to come on here as well, yeah, they should look pretty good. Our back window, like I said, is small and it's a little bit ugly, but you cannot do anything about that on this cab because of the difference. The top so curved. Like I said, the only way would have been to do the double cut, and I'm not a real fan of that technique. But like I've said, when I bring that bottom corner of the window over, I think it should look it will look all right. That's what we're doing today. So yeah, now we're at the stage where we basically go along and push in and out on all this and get it all tacked the whole way around. We just keep doing it. We start filling in our pieces in here. You know, we'll see what we've got, what we can use out of the bits we've cut out. Otherwise we'll just make some pieces, like put a piece of flat there and a piece of flat there and a piece of flat there, and we'll get this little bit, and there'll be a bit of window trim out of the bit here we cut out, and top window frame should work. We'll have to cut that in half, so we'll have this piece. So the top piece here should pretty much work, and then the top piece here should pretty much work. And then we take one of our cuts, hopefully they'll work in the center. We use these pieces here that we cut out to go across the roof. So yeah, we just go along and we just start tacking and welding, tack, weld, tack, weld, tack, weld, more and more and more, and till we get it all sealed. Okay, it's been a few days since we last checked in. I've been doing other stuff, but as you can see today, we got a bit done. There's our back window, 90%. We've got to get the die grinder in there and just grind the little nip, but that's a better shape. I think it looks a bit weird with the grinding, non-grinding. I think it's not really, the camera's doing it a bit weird. There you go, that's a better view. Now, if you're wondering why I like doing it this way, it's because now the bottom of the window frame is where it originally would have been, as in to the bottom of the doors and the bottom of the windscreen. If we start bringing this down lower, then when we look through the back window, we're looking at the dash and stuff. So doing it this way, we're keeping the bottoms of all the windows in their original positions and just lowering the top section, if that makes sense. So this side's ground down. As you can see there, we've done it on the body line and it blends in very nicely. We've still got to grind that side down, and we had a bad fit up over there. I don't know if it was to do with my chop or like my cut wasn't straight or what, but we had a bad fit up down there. So what we did is we stuck a piece of 2 or 3 mil flat bar, 3 mil flat bar on the inside, and then welded both sides to the flat bar and filled the flat bar up. We did the same up here with our little patch in there. We did the same, just so a little bit of extra strength. Now we've come around and that's basically welded in there and ground down. Still got a lot more grinding to do, a lot more welding, and we've just started our window frame. So as you see, we got our back section done. They're very simple. You've seen I just cut that in half, worked out where to cut it, bang, cut it. Same at the front. The front I haven't ground down yet. And then we've got to put a piece in. Now both of our pieces are here that we've cut out of the window frame. Now neither of them work perfectly. So out of these though, we chop this up, and out of the metal we can basically from the two make something that will fit in there. Okay, then we've still got to go through and do our center section of the roof. So we are back, and as you can see, we have welded the top of the roof. We haven't ground it down, and as you can see, it is a bit banged and creased and dented, so that's worked out pretty well. We've got a nice dent in there to match. It's a little bit up, a little bit down. Now we can get in there and give it a little bit of dolly. We'll probably dolly up this side a little bit. It's hard for you to tell, but it is a bit boom boom, so we'll probably lift that up a little bit. But that is basically what we want on this cab, is it to be a little bit agricultural, as per se, due to the fact that the cab is quite agricultural. So, and if you can see back here, first we'll come over to this side, and we have started our door frame. So what we've done is we had our three pieces. So we had the piece that we chopped out of the inside of this frame, so we've used that up the top in here. We haven't finished that, we're only halfway through all of this. And then the piece that we've chopped out of this section, we have used on the outside, and we will use the piece that we've chopped out of this section for the inside. And we'll have to add a little piece in the middle of this, and the same, a little piece in the middle of this. Now what I'm thinking is, I think I'm going to cut the drip rail off and have it looking like that. I think that should look pretty good. If we come over here, this piece here we go. This is the piece here, and we chopped the drip rail was along there. So I've chopped that off and then pulled it off with spot welds. So I think that's what we're going to have. We're going to have it like that, so it will look okay. So there's our side, our front's welded. We haven't touched the other side as yet. Now we've got our back window done, but I want you to look at the back corner here before you go. So here what I want to show you is, now I know our light is not great. It is during the day. It's just the camera is playing up in this light. It's not happy. But we have done a bit of our fake patina blend through here. You can see we've actually gone through here and up there. And what we've done is we've sprayed our browns down. We've sprayed 3 different colour browns down first, and then we've come over with our water technique with some green and some brown back over the top. Now that's got a torch on it. That's got that flash from the camera on, so it's really highlighting it. In normal light, it is blended in very, very well. So now that we're back on a normal camera mode, and we stand here, I know the light is terrible, but it is actually blended very, very well. Okay, we'll come around the front and show you the front. The roof chop's not bad at all, as in height. I think I'm pretty happy with it. Our side windows now, we've got the window framing is looking pretty good. In the next one, we will finish off our window frames perfectly. Both sides, we'll finish welding and grinding our roof. Our pillars, we'll finish all of the roof chop welding. I'll do a lot of that off the camera. Then what we'll do is I will show you exactly how we do the patina painting, how I'm going to do that. I'll show you the whole technique and the whole process of that. And then we're also going to get the next piece of the puzzle. We're going to pick up our chassis and our motor combo for a bargain basement price. Yes, we've found a really, really cheap one. So that will give us our next piece of the puzzle. What I'd like to do is look at our floor. We'll get all of this tidied up, cleaned out, look at the floor, and get the cab off. This chassis is in the plan for the next one. And here we'll show you another piece of the puzzle. I'm going to show you them. That's all I'm going to speak about them. You'll have to just use your imagination on what's happening. And there's something else happening behind the scenes. I'm working on something for the tray, the rear end of this one as well. I'm working on it. We'll see if I can pull that off as well. What that all says is we're into the cab for $300. We're going to be into the chassis and the motor and the gearbox for $600. I have a set of wheels out the back that we're going to refurbish, and we should nearly have most of our pieces for around $1,000. We're going to be. So I think I think I might throw it out there now. In episode 1. And I'm going to attempt this one. And I want it running, I want nice brakes. I'm not, we don't skimp on any of that. You should know our brakes, suspension, bushes, any of that. We're not going to skimp on any of that. I'm going to attempt this one for $2,000 Australian. That's what I'm going to try to do. So that is about probably $1,200 American in just straight changeover rate. But in prices of how much extra we pay, we are talking a $600-700 American budget probably. But yeah, I'm going to try to pull this one off for $2,000 Australian. Okay, so we're going to push it, especially if we buy this other tray, that we will really be tight on this, but we'll see how we go. So anyway, with all of that said, I'm going to let yous go. I want yous to all have a great Christmas, and if I don't see you before the new year, have a good new year. But you'll probably see me in between. But we will see how we go. So yes. Thanks for watching. Drop your comments on how we went with what you think of the look of our 6-inch chopped Bedford. If you think we're doing okay. And with that said, I'll see you next week.